Fresh off the bye week, Michigan State goes to Nebraska. We are looking to take out the Cornhuskers, who are reeling after a loss to the Michigan Wolverines. They start out 3-1, but 0-1 in the conference. It was a really big game for the Spartans. They went into USC's house and absolutely mollywopped them. Aiden Chiles was the main proponent of this, with a 75% passing completion percentage. He had 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He was sacked twice, but played a absolutely fantastic game last week. Tolliver, who unfortunately we are going to miss this week due to a torn labrum. He did have a touchdown on 14 carries. It's going to be Brandon Tullis, and it's going to be Mackay Frazier. Hopefully I'm saying that right. It's going to be a running back by committee this week in Nebraska, in hopes that the loss of Tolliver isn't going to hurt MSU as much as some may think it is going to. On the receiving end of the football, no shock here, Jack Velling, one of the best tight ends in the Big Ten, and maybe based on performance, you could even say he's one of the best tight ends in the country. Had another outstanding job. 7 receptions, 146 yards, a touchdown. You also got Omari Kelly in there, who had 5 receptions and 35 yards for a touchdown. The story continues, though. Nick Marsh, not exactly pleased with the Michigan State team. Not getting a lot of opportunities, not getting a lot of touches. Let's see if Nebraska and Michigan State can make a bit of a difference today, and see if Nick Marsh can get more involved with the Michigan State offense. Real quick before we jump into the game, if you're new here, my name is Sandman. This is my second channel, a sports channel. I do have a main channel that'll be linked in the description of this video if you want to check out my content over there. We're almost at 2,500 subscribers, as well as I do have a TikTok with almost 30,000 followers. Check me out on there. Hopefully you stick around, you like the sports content. I definitely enjoy putting out the sports content. I don't intend for it to go anywhere.
Welcome to Lincoln, Nebraska, and it plays some of the games immortals have called home. Johnny the Jet, Frazier, Crouch, Rozier, and many, many more have built this big red legacy as this crowd is ready to cheer on their beloved Cornhuskers. A huge opportunity for both of these teams to get a boost and find a way to break into the top 25 if they can come out with a victory. As we'll see, the winners of 4 straight, the Michigan State Spartans, taking on another team from the Big Ten, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, here with David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. Guys, let's get this thing rolling.
All right, here we go. Michigan State takes on the 1997 co-national champions, and that is the Nebraska Cornhuskers. In Nebraska, Nebraska comes in 3-1 following a loss to Michigan last week. Take a look at the key players down at the bottom of your screen. Certainly Jack Velling is going to be one today, as he has been every single game this year. One of the best tight ends in the Big Ten. Let's see what he can do today against the number 1 prospect from a year or so ago, no, now 2 years at this point, Dylan Raiola, the Patrick Mahomes lookalike. The guy who is supposed to be the savior of the Nebraska Cornhuskers, who had a little bit of a down freshman year, but if you look at a lot of freshman 5-star quarterbacks, especially ones that were considered to be the best of the best, they didn't have too many good freshman years, and that's a big first down gain for Nebraska. That is to their tight end. Michigan State is all too wary of that tight end position. Lake McCree for USC absolutely ran all over him a week ago. That was a tough game. Got a little bit of motion. Dylan Raiola dropping back to pass, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be Grady. No, not Grady. It's going to be Jalen Thompson for the sack there. Huge play for the Spartans. Looks like Sparty likes it. Jalen Thompson. Nice sack to start the game following the first down from the Cornhuskers. We'll see what 2nd and 17 brings for the Nebraska offense. Raiola in the gun. He's going to put his running back in motion. It's going to be 5 wide. Trips right. It's going to be a running back screen, and it's not really going to go anywhere. A pickup of about 2 yards. So a interesting play call there on 2nd and 17. We'll see what they go with here on 3rd down. Michigan State, traditionally this season, has not been great as far as pass defense goes, and they're going to show it right there. That's a big gain for Nebraska and a huge first down, and they are just outside of the red zone now, knocking on the door, and it seems as if the Michigan State struggles through the air on the defensive side of the ball have not quite resolved themselves. We do know that this is a weak spot for Michigan State as Dylan Raiola tries to take off with it and gets laid out, and that they are desperately working on it. Nebraska knows that too. Nebraska also knows that Michigan State is one of the better run defense teams. Nobody there, and I don't know how he didn't score there. Okay. Well, that is the 100th pass completion this year for Dylan Raiola. And I'm honestly kind of astonished that Nebraska did not find a way to put that ball into the end zone. That 100% should have been a touchdown. And Nebraska is literally just walking all over the Spartans to start this game. We'll see if they look to hand it off. And they do, and he's pretty much going to go in untouched. Touchdown, Cornhuskers. A dominating first possession for Nebraska there. And who are they looking for? Oh no, over the middle and intercepted immediately. Aiden Chiles made a very poor decision, and on the first play from offense, Chiles is going to throw an interception. Not a good start to the game for the Spartans. That's a rough one for sure. Oh my goodness. It's Vincent Shavers Jr. with the interception, the linebacker. He was lurking right over the middle. Chiles looking for Velling on the play, but that did not work out. And just like that, they are at the 25-yard line looking in. And that is another wide open guy, and this time he's not going to miss it. It's a touchdown for the Cornhuskers. And just like that, this game is completely turned around on its axis. Michigan State, who felt very confident coming into this game, another dangerous throw from Aiden Chiles there. Not exactly sure what he's thinking. You got to think that the Michigan State game plan is a little bit different this week, considering there is no Tulliver. Elijah Tulliver out with a torn labrum. It's Brandon Tullis and Frazier in at running back as Tullis takes that one up the middle for 2. Kind of concerning as to the direction that Michigan State might take these next few weeks. Aiden Chiles still young and learning. 2nd and 8, looking to throw. That's Nick Marsh who hangs on to that ball. That was the most spectacular 4-yard catch you will ever see in your entire life. None other than Nick Marsh, the frustrated Michigan State wide receiver. And that's McCray, another pickup, and trying to make up for the interception that Aiden Chiles threw. That's 2 straight completions. And they're looking on the opposite side of the field. They're in Cornhuskers territory. That's Tullis up the middle. Kind of pushes his way forward, and he gets about 7 on the play. See, pure domination so far. The turnover does not help the Spartans early on in this game, as the first one, and oh boy, Not sure if that one got tipped or if that was just a errant throw by Aiden Chiles. Maybe some of the pressure is getting to his head just a touch, as that's Omari Kelly on third down. An interesting play call, 4th and 2. Let's see what the Spartans go with this time. 4th and 2, Michigan State looking to go for it. Tullis in the backfield. Here it is, handing the ball off. He's not going to get it, folks. He's going to be shut down, and that's going to be a turnover on downs. Michigan State, following a solid and promising drive, is going to turn the ball right back over to the Cornhuskers. And Dylan Raiola already down 14-0. And they're going to hand it off. He's going to pick up about 4 yards. And right now, it's all about clock management for Nebraska. They've got a 2-score lead and the ball. And Michigan State playing exactly how people thought they were going to play last week against USC. They didn't, however. They dominated that game from the absolute get-go. And now the turntables have turned. How the turntables have turned, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the throw. That's going to be up in the air and incomplete. That is Malik Spencer with the deflection, and Dylan Raiola and the Cornhuskers are going to punt this ball away. Punt is up. It is Omari Kelly back to return. He's going to have a little bit of space, but not a lot of speed on that return. Michigan State desperately trying to find something that works for him. Tullis on the sidelines, Frazier in at the back, trying to find something, and that is the best run of the night for 5 yards as Mekhi Frazier checks into the game, and he now goes to the sideline for Brandon Tullis. And that's a first catch over the middle for Velling. His second attempt today. First attempt resulted in an interception by Aiden Chiles. A ball that looked pretty good, but was just beautifully read by the Cornhuskers. And that's Chiles on the keeper. Going to pick up about 4. Didn't even bother sliding. Says, you know what? I deserve a little bit of punishment with the way that I've played so far today. And maybe he does. Seems like Chiles is often either really good or really bad, and I think we may have missed Velling over the middle. It's going to be the end of the first quarter. 3rd and 6. Michigan State desperately needs something. The crowd is extremely loud right now, as that's McCray with the first down reception. Excuse me, Rodney Bullard, not McCray. McCray may have been on the sidelines for that 3rd down play. Here comes Michigan State on first down, and that's over the middle to Velling, and a odd-looking throw and an odd choice. Probably should have looked to throw it a little sooner if that's what he was going for. 2nd and 10. Second quarter just started. From the gun, it's Mekhi Frazier breaking a tackle and getting a first down, doing his best Elijah Tulliver impersonation as Tulliver looks on from the sidelines saying, good job, man. I wish I could be out there with you guys, but unfortunately, I can't be. That's a pass right over the middle. Whoa. And that one nearly could have been intercepted. It's going to be 2nd and 10. Tullis in at the back. Going to hear us talk about that running back situation a whole lot, and that's why it is not going well for the Michigan State running offense. Tullis has been swamped in the backfield for most of this game, and when he's not been gotten in the backfield, he's only picked up a few yards. That's Velling. Velling with a first down. We talk about Velling being one of the best tight ends, and you see exactly why there. He's able to come down with that. And that's Mekhi Frazier up the middle, gain of 2. Michigan State working their way into field goal range now. Just over 7 minutes remain here in the second quarter before we go to halftime, folks. Chiles looking to throw. He's got a man. And that is big number 44. And he nearly picked up a first down, a throw off his back foot. Not exactly what you want to see from Chiles. 3rd and inches. Gonna hand it off to Frazier. He's going up the middle, blocks up the field, pushing forward, and a nice gain. Gonna be down at the 3-yard line. That's Mekhi Frazier. 4 attempts, 32 yards. He's the running back that they are desperately seeking with the loss of Tulliver, as they're gonna hand it off here. And it's Tullis. He picked up 2, but he couldn't quite get there. And Mekhi Frazier steps back in. 2nd and goal. Chiles under center. Frazier looking for some room, can't quite find it. He looked like a guy dancing on the dance floor right there, ladies and gentlemen. He was trying to find all the room, but didn't have any. 3rd and goal, 3rd and goal at the 1-yard line. It's going to be another handoff. Frazier can't get there again, and Michigan State has a tough decision to make. Well, ultimately, it wasn't as tough as some may think. Michigan State's going to go for it. Pass out right. That's Velling. Touchdown, MSU. Here we go. First down. Dylan Raiola's got the ball back in his hands. Good play from Michigan State. That's going to be a run right up the middle, and a very large run, gain of about 12 that time for Nebraska. Runs like that will have Michigan State on their tippy toes. The passing defense already being rough. And there's another one, and another first down, another consecutive first down and a broken tackle. It does not look good on the defensive side of the ball. Somebody's got to wake this defense up. They are being folded like a lawn chair. As Raiola looking to throw again, he's got a guy wide open who steps out of bounds, who had nothing but green grass in front of him. It is 1st and 10. Let's do it again. Under 3 minutes remaining. Nebraska sends their tight end in motion. Looks like they're going to actually hand it off this time, and he's not going to gain anything. A pretty solid stop there. But they are in field goal range, or at least very close. Michigan State needs to be very careful here not to surrender any more points before the half. And that's a throw right over the middle to the tight end, and a gain of 9. Raiola is on fire, and the 2-minute warning is here. 3rd and 1 following the 2-minute warning. Raiola under center. Looks like he's going to hand it off to his running back. He didn't get it. And that is going to be a call to the field goal team. Michigan State going to take a quick timeout to try to preserve as much time as possible for an opportunity down the field with Aiden Chiles. Remember, it took Michigan State to 4th down to score on their last possession. As that kick is up, and it is a beauty. And it is good. No problem for Nebraska there. It wasn't a touchdown, but it was a field goal for Nebraska, and every point hurts if you're Michigan State. As that's a pass, and a dangerous one right over the middle for Nick Marsh, who has his 2nd reception of the game. We talked about his frustrations coming into this game with the Michigan State offense and the lack of targets. That's over the middle. That's McCray. And another first down for Michigan State. Things seem to be kind of picking themselves up on the offensive side of the ball, if you will, for Sparty, as they need to try to draw up some sort of game plan to get... Whoa, dangerous throw. Belling couldn't get to that one, as Michigan State needs to pick up some sort of game plan to try to develop a running attack. It is 2nd and 10. Chiles from the gun. Drops back to throw. He's got pressure. That's Frazier. He's going to pick it up. Didn't pick anything up, but it's better than getting sacked. And it's going to be 3rd and long with under a minute remaining. Not a lot of urgency from Michigan State as they don't have a whole lot of confidence on the offensive side of the ball. We've got 4 wide. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Chiles, another bad throw over the middle of the field. And what is Chiles doing today? Up into this game, he had 1 interception all year. And in the first half, he's got 2. It feels like Chiles could be selling. Maybe Chiles has a parlay on this game or something. Or the Nebraska spread. I don't know, but it feels like something's going on as Raiola's going to be sacked. Jalen Thompson in on that sack. A helping hand, as it seemed like the whole entire defensive line was a part of that one. 28 seconds until halftime. Raiola not too terribly far out of field goal range, and going to look to get him there because they're going to go out of bounds. 3rd and 4. Something has got to change. 10 for 11 is Raiola. He has been pretty much perfect. Making 11 for 12 and a pancake out on the left side. And not the gain you want to see right before halftime. That puts Nebraska in scoring position, at least with a field goal. That's Quinton Ives on the running back screen that Michigan State didn't see coming. It seems like they haven't seen anything coming today. The only thing they've seen is themselves running back to the bus if they don't improve right over the middle. And you got to be careful here with no timeouts. The first down now. Clock is stopped until the chains are moved. There's an opportunity for Nebraska as they spike it into the ground to potentially score a touchdown. But depending on what Michigan State lines up in, Nebraska needs to be careful here. Michigan State needs to be careful. 2nd and 10, 9 seconds. Raiola dropping back. He's going to get sacked. That's actually considered a fumble. And they're not going to be able to get another play off as Raiola tries to get to the line. It's going to be halftime, and we'll be back. We are back for the second half kickoff. Nebraska kicking off. And Michigan State got really lucky that time around on the final play. Looked like Nebraska had a chance. They should have probably clocked it and gone to the end zone. They didn't get that opportunity. It's 1st and 10. And immediately up the middle for Tullis. And immediately he goes nowhere. That has been the story of the game for the Spartans. Brandon Tullis has been non-existent, ladies and gentlemen. 6 carries, 9 yards. Not a good day. 2nd and 9, under center, and he's going backwards. Loss of 1. It's 3rd and long. Frazier in the game. Aiden Chiles in shotgun. Dropping back to pass, looking for Marsh. Marsh has got it, breaks one free, and a first down. Marsh has been very active in today's game. Maybe they did something in the locker room that sparked Marsh through the bye week. Remember, Michigan State coming off a bye week. And Tullis, his best gain of the game, 6 yards. Going to be 2nd and 4. We'll see just what Michigan State has in store for a 2nd and medium. Just under 8 minutes remain. And that's a handoff to Tullis and his biggest, the biggest run of the game. The biggest one for him. And maybe something is sparking for the Spartans. 9 attempts, 26 yards, some pretty atrocious numbers. But Tullis is very adamant that he wants to do something for the Spartan team as he loses a yard. 2nd and 11. Chiles. Dropping back. Gets the ball off somehow, and who else? That's Nick Marsh. Chiles a little slow to get up on that play. Nick Marsh, we just talked about it. He's been active for the first time this year. They've needed it. McCray taking a little bit of a back seat this week. And that's over the middle. Oh, Nick Marsh! Whoa! Oh, my God! Touchdown, MSU! Not at all sure what just happened there. That was one of the ugliest throws I've seen all year from any quarterback, for that matter. Duck ball, double coverage. Nick Marsh just made a play. He got hands, and he showed exactly why everybody ranked him as a top 10 Big Ten wide receiver going into this year. Some even said top 5. He's proving it today. That's a drop ball, and all of a sudden, if Michigan State can force a punt here, it seems like maybe the tides have turned. It is 3rd and 12. Raiola from the shotgun, dropping back to pass. He's got a little pressure, and it's Quindarius Dunnigan on the sack. Who else? Big 99. He's been around all year. Sparty says, let's go. Take a look at this. Quindarius Dunnigan, number 99, coming off the edge, first sack of the game. Raiola felt the pressure, tried to step up in the pocket, but it didn't matter. There was pressure coming from just about everywhere, and the Michigan State defense has started to step up a little bit here in this second half. This is a punt that they are going to force. The offense had a fantastic drive, even though they had a very odd-looking touchdown. And it's Amari Kelly on the return, looking for some space. And a solid return puts him just outside of field goal range for Ahmet Basic. Still don't believe I'm saying that name right. It's going to be a handoff. Tullis not really sure where to go. Kind of dances around in the backfield, and he's not going to gain anything. It is 2nd and 10. Chiles and Kai Frazier in the game now. It's going to be Frazier. And he's going to pick up about 4. Frazier doesn't have quite as big of a frame as Tullis does, but Frazier seems to play a little more physically. That's Amari Kelly over the middle. I believe that's his first reception of the game. He hasn't had too many attempts today. And Aiden Chiles, take a look at his numbers there. Starting to improve in the second half, and that's all you can ask for in what was a very rough first half and a gain of 2. What we thought was maybe turning around for Tullis, not really sure why we're still giving him the ball. He's not playing well whatsoever. And let's see what Michigan State's got dialed up for 2nd and 12. They got a lot of pressure. That's what they've got dialed up. Chiles looking to run. Looking to run as Chiles, and he gets a first down. If he had a little bit more time, Chiles may have found an open man streaking over the middle of the field. And it's 1st and 10, Michigan State inside the red zone, 15-yard line. It's a handoff to Frazier. Gain of about 3. He had C's parted for him, but they closed very quickly. Frazier remains in the game. Tullis on the sideline, as it's how it probably should be. And in motion, Chiles from the gun. Chiles looking to move. He's going to get sacked in a poor decision. That's Riley Van Poppel. We know that Nebraska has a stout defensive line, at least on that play. And it's 3rd and a country mile. 3rd and 19, nobody open. Chiles looking to throw. He's going to hit Frazier. And Frazier gets quite a few of those yards back. But it's going to be a field goal attempt. Ahmet Basic has been pretty much automatic this year. See what he dials up for 4th and 5. Kick is up. And no good! How do you miss that kick? That's as basic as a kick as it gets. Apparently not. Wow. 1st and 10, and Michigan State continues to shoot themselves in the foot. There's another running back screen. This time, not going to work. Breaking a tackle. Maybe it is going to work. Just kidding. Loss of 1. That'll be the end of the 3rd quarter. It does look like we'll be back for the 4th quarter here in Nebraska. 2nd and 11. Raiola looking to throw over the middle. Quickly brought down. And that's the 5th reception. And 14 for 16 now for Raiola. Been pretty much perfect. But all of a sudden, the game plan has seemed to change for the Cornhuskers. Doesn't seem like the throwing down the field as often. And that's going to be a 1st down, albeit that he came back across the line. They're going to give him forward progress on that one. And we've got 9 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter in a close ball game. Dropping back to throw. That's a man deep. One-on-one coverage. And that is knocked out. Only the 3rd incomplete pass today for Dylan Raiola, who has absolutely had a game to remember. He's been almost perfect. He's going to step up, but it's not going to matter. He's going to get sacked. That's Jalen Thompson, big number 9. He's going to get his 2nd sack of the game. It's going to be 3rd and another country mile. And Jalen Thompson, take a look at this highlight for him. Yep. He's a tough guy. He's been a huge guy for the Spartans this year. Very pivotal in the run defense that they've had. And you can tell just by the way Nebraska's playing this game, they've tried to avoid keeping the ball on the ground. That's thrown up in the air and caught on 3rd and a country mile. Neziah Hunter, 4th reception of the game. And he catches a incredibly interesting looking pass. And all of a sudden, momentum is switching sides. Raiola to pass. That's to the running back. Gain of 6. Quentin Ives. He's no Jonathan Taylor, but he is a decent running back who hasn't had a whole ton of opportunity today. Tight end in motion, moving to the right side. Handoff to Ives up the middle. Going to gain literally nothing. It's Wayne Matthews III who is on the tackle there. 3rd and medium. Raiola to pass. Stepping up, looking to throw. He's going to throw it off to his wide receiver, number 13. And it's going to be another 1st down. That's Neziah Hunter again with his 5th reception of the game. And if Nebraska scores here, it could spell true danger as Raiola looking to run on his own. He's got all the space in the world. Raiola looking to break one. He's going to be down at the 4-yard line. Michigan State did not see the option play coming as per result. And all of a sudden, Nebraska knocking on heaven's door. And they are coming into the end zone. It looks like they're going to come in. Knock, knock. Daddy might be home, says Dylan Raiola. Not quite. And it's 2nd and goal. Michigan State trying to do their best to stand up here and prevent the Cornhuskers from scoring. Because that's going to be a pitch outright. He's got all the space in the world, but it didn't matter. Gain of only 1 and brought down. Pretty solid defense from the Spartans that time. Trying to get out to the edge. Seemed like he was probably going to go. Michigan State trying to keep it a 1-possession game. They're going to hand it off again to Ives, and they just might do that. Gain of nothing. And it's going to be a field goal attempt in a really, well, I guess it's not as awkward as it could be spot. for the Nebraska kicker. Fourth and goal at the 3rd. The kick is up, and he is 2 for 2 tonight. And you couldn't ask for a better result following the deep pass that was caught from Nazir Hunter. Wow. Michigan State giving up a field goal when what felt like they were going to give up a touchdown. And this game may have been over. A little bit of space for Brown, but can't quite get there. What can Brown do for you? Well, he can get you to the 19-yard line. 3 minutes, 47 seconds for Aiden Chiles and the Michigan State Spartans. Frazier in the game at running back. Chiles under center. To the outside, he's got a blocker. And the blocker didn't go after the right guy, and it's only a gain of 7 and what should have been at least 15. 2nd and 3, time is ticking down, closing in on 3 minutes to go. Michigan State, Frazier, 10 carries, 50 yards. You got to think that Tulliver probably will not be back next week. Coyne is now in at running back instead of Tullis. Oh, big number 44, laying somebody out, gain of 5. He'll take it. Absolutely, that's Jay Coyne, the fullback, who is still in the game at running back. Who needs a running back? Not Michigan State. They're going to get one out of the pocket. Here goes Chiles. Chiles running to the 50, 48-yard line. And the 2-minute warning is here. We'll be back. 2 minutes to go in a game that could be huge for Michigan State if they could win it today. Extend them to 5-0 to try to become ranked. And a slightly dangerous throw. Did not see the corner backing up there. It is 2nd and 10. Michigan State needs to draw up the best play of the ball game and continue to fight downhill. They've got Jay Coyne in at running back, the fullback, big number 44 they call him, in the locker room, and big, all right, he's going to get a first down. He's got more yards than Tullis, or pretty much more yards than Tullis at this point, who has severely struggled, as it is 1st and 10, under 2 minutes to go. Michigan State, methodical, slow, no hurry. They know they've got 3 timeouts. They know they've got time, and they know if they put up a touchdown that it could mean victory if they play their cards right here in Nebraska. That would be 2 Big Ten victories to start the year. And that's thrown and hit is Chiles. It is 3rd and 7. You got to think this is 4-down territory as Bean plays over the stadium radio to try to get the fans hyped. Go catch Omari Kelly in a first down for Michigan State. We got silent there because things are getting a little intense. Omari Kelly with his 2nd reception, and Chiles just has to get rid of that. He's just got to get rid of that one. Quit backing up. You back up, you take a risk at getting sacked and losing more yardage than what is absolutely necessary. It's like Nick Marsh on the outside, can't quite hear the play. Dropping back is Chiles, and that's a ball in the air and caught by McCray for a first down. And don't look now, ladies and gentlemen, Michigan State has a shot in another really odd-looking throw out of the hand of Aiden Chiles, who has played a okay game, 2 interceptions. Not great whatsoever. And man, he had Nick Marsh open. Nick Marsh was open there. And just the pressure is getting home to Chiles as Michigan State is trying to find a way to drive this ball into the end zone to attempt to take a 1-point lead. Chiles looking to throw, nobody there. And he throws it on the run. The corner gets in front of the receiver, and it is batted down. It is 3rd and 10, 4-down territory. If Michigan State turns it over, this game is pretty much over, folks. It's Belling! Belling didn't get in! Belling did not get in. He was so close. 22 seconds remaining. Michigan State going to waste a little clock Nebraska, why are you not calling a timeout here? Michigan State could walk it off with a touchdown, but they got to play it smart. They've got to play it smart. First and goal, 5 seconds remaining now at this point. Michigan State going to snap the football up the middle. Touchdown MSU! Jay Coyne, considered the 4th running back on the Michigan State team, just put Michigan State up. Here's the biggest kick of the game for basic, and it's as basic as it gets. Michigan State's going to take a 1-point lead with 2 seconds to go to attempt to go up 5-0 on the season. Nebraska, this would be a crippling loss for the Cornhuskers and Dylan Raiola, as they already lost last week against the Wolverines. They are looking to lose to the Spartans again, and Michigan State coming out in a very odd-looking defensive set, so they're going to call a timeout. Michigan State going to do everything in their power to make sure that there is no walk-off here in Nebraska. They're going to put everybody back. They've got 4 on the line. Raiola in the gun, looking to throw. He's got 4 wide receivers, and he underthrows it, and it's caught, but it doesn't matter. Michigan State wins a fantastically fought game here in Nebraska, 21-20. And this might be bigger than last week. This game was incredible. Let's take a look at the stats. A instant classic here in Nebraska. Raiola 19 for 22, 86%, and 1 touchdown. He was tough to beat. He certainly was. The sophomore out of Buford, Georgia. And Quentin Ives, despite our attempts to somehow get the running game going for the opposing team, only has 12 yards, but he did have a touchdown. On the receiving side of the ball, that is Mac Markway, named sophomore, St. Louis, Missouri, tight end. He was a problem today. 6 receptions, 83 yards, and a touchdown. Isaiah Hunter, he had 5 receptions, 72 yards. Take a look at the defensive side now for Nebraska. They did have a couple sacks, just the one. That's Riley Van Poppel, defensive tackle, the sophomore out of Argyle, Texas. Played very well with 8 total tackles. Take a look at who had the interceptions. That is a Marcus Buford Jr. and Vincent Shavers Jr. Jr. have interceptions each. Good job. While it wasn't a game to write home about, Chiles, 20 for 32, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, it doesn't matter. Michigan State won this game, and that's all that matters. Running game, not so hot, weak as it's been. They are missing Tulliver severely. Frazier did have a solid game, but Jay Coyne out of New York, the fullback, junior, had himself a touchdown. Nick Marsh finally gets active in the game. 5 receptions, 68 yards, and a touchdown, his first on the year. Belling takes a little bit of a step back as far as yardage and receptions goes, but he did get himself a touchdown. Sean McCray, 4 receptions, 53 yards. Kind of a quiet game for him, but albeit he was impactful. And on the defensive side of the ball, Jalen Thompson and Grady Kelly each had 2 sacks. Quindarius Dunnigan had 1. Ben Roberts and Dontavius Nash split another. Michigan State did not force any turnovers. They have not been a team that has been very good at that this year. See if they can improve. Moving on to week number 7, 5-0 Michigan State. Let's see if they find themselves ranked. And they've got themselves a 4-star recruit, Garrison Moultrier, out of West Bloomfield, Michigan. Another recruit, a 3-star, Johnny Chinaza, cornerback out of Muskegon. 2 Michigan boys staying home. They did lose Melvin Ladd to Michigan, of course. Of course they do. A cross-state rival. That one hurts a little bit. Michigan State still not ranked. 5-0, 2-0 in the Big Ten. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Big Ten standings before we go. take a look at the Big Ten standings. Oregon and Michigan are on top somehow, considering Washington and Michigan State are the only two undefeated teams in the entire Big Ten. The Big Ten has been very competitive this year. Let's sort by win-loss. There are only four teams under 500. Michigan 4-1, 15th in the country. You would think Michigan State would be receiving votes at this point. Washington playing very well. I know Michigan goes up against Washington very soon. That'll be a big game in the Big Ten, but right now, if it was going to end today, I do believe it would be Oregon and Michigan in the Big Ten championship, according to what we had saw when we came in. Maybe not, though. Maybe it'd be Michigan State and Washington, as Michigan State will take on 4-1 UCLA next week. A big game for them. They probably will not see Tulliver back just yet, but probably the week following. But anyways, guys, my name is Sandman. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video of the Michigan State Dynasty. I strongly enjoy making these videos, and if you enjoy it and you want to see more, make sure you subscribe. Anyways, we'll be seeing you.